Imagine you wake up tomorrow and the sun just doesn't come up. Not for one night, but for 18 months straight. The sky turns a sick, grayish blue. The crops in the field turn black and die standing up. And in the middle of summer, it starts to snow. This isn't a disaster movie. This isn't a prediction. This already happened. It's the year 536 AD, and historians officially call it the worst year to be alive in the entire history of our species. Not the worst week, not the worst war. The worst year. Out of every year humans have existed. And today we're not even talking about the Black Death or the World Wars. We're going further back, to the one stretch of time so brutal it makes everything else on this list look like a mild inconvenience. So buckle up, Daddy. Stop. Because today on Barely Evolved, we're ranking the worst possible windows in human history. To be born, counting down from bad but survivable, to congratulations, you're already dead. Number 5. The last glacial maximum, about 20,000 years ago. Picture Earth with the thermostat broken and stuck on nightmare. Ice sheets up to 2 miles thick sit on top of North America, Europe, and Asia, suffocating the planet under a frozen blanket. Average global temperature has dropped around 10 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees Celsius, turning entire continents into a frozen wasteland where the main food group is whatever didn't run away fast enough. If you were born into this, your morning routine looked like: don't freeze to death. Find food before something eats you. Repeat. Your home is a hut made of mammoth bones, or a cave shared with 40 relatives you can barely stand. Your outfit is animal hide stitched with a needle carved from bone. No zippers, no thermals, just hope and fur. Dinner means walking up to an animal the size of a school bus with nothing but a sharpened stick, and somehow convincing it to die before it convinces you to die first. That's assuming a cave lion, one of the largest wildcats to ever exist, doesn't decide you look like lunch first. And here's the part that actually gets you. It's not even the mammoth that's most likely to kill you. It's a paper cut. A small infection that today you'd treat with a $3 tube of antibiotic cream. Back then? No antibiotics, no stitches, no emergency room, just chewing random plants and hoping the wound doesn't turn black. Somehow humans not only survived this, they started painting on cave walls and mastering fire. But if you were born here, the odds were not in your favor. Number 4. The dawn of agriculture, around 10,000 years ago. On paper, this sounds like good news. Instead of chasing a 6-ton animal across a frozen continent, humans just grew food where they stood. Except it backfired in almost every way nobody saw coming. Early humans packed into permanent villages, planting wheat, barley, and lentils. But cramming humans, livestock, and waste into one small space, for the first time, meant disease could now spread house to house instead of dying out. Diets narrowed mostly to grain, meaning less protein, more vitamin deficiencies, and teeth rotting out of people's skulls by their teenage years. Archaeologists have dug up skeletons from this era showing anemia, malnutrition, and dental damage that looks like something out of a horror movie. And your entire survival now depended on the weather behaving itself. One bad drought, one swarm of locusts, one flood at the wrong time, and your whole village starved while everyone stared helplessly at the sky. No backup plan, no stockpile. You traded the danger of the hunt for the slow, grinding danger of crop failure and decay. Number 3. The Mongol invasions, 13th century. If you saw a cloud of dust rising on the horizon, you had maybe 3 minutes before your city stopped existing. This is the era of Genghis Khan, a man whose entire foreign policy was mercy is for other people. Under his leadership, the Mongols built the largest connected land empire in human history. Stretching from China to Eastern Europe, their strategy wasn't subtle. Show up faster than anyone thinks possible, hit with overwhelming force, and leave nothing standing. Entire cities were wiped off the map, populations slaughtered, and survivors were sometimes forced into the front lines of the next siege as human shields. Mongol horse archers could hit a target from 300 yards away while riding at full gallop, basically inventing mobile, long-range warfare centuries. Early, historians put the Mongol conquests at roughly 10% of the entire world's population killed, at a time when the global population was already tiny. That's not a war. That's a near-extinction event with horses involved. If you were born in the path of that empire, your life expectancy was measured by how fast that dust cloud was moving toward your front door. Number 2. The Black Death, 1347. Europe received an unannounced package from Central Asia, delivered by fleas, the world's worst postal service. Once it landed, things went downhill fast. The Black Death, or bubonic plague, tore through towns like an unstoppable biological wildfire carried by rats, fleas, and humans, with basically no concept of hygiene. Once it was loose, survival became a coin flip. You could catch it from a handshake, a shared cup, or just standing near the wrong persons in a crowded market. Symptoms included swollen lymph nodes, the size of eggs, raging fever, vomiting blood, and usually death within days, not weeks. Historians estimate 30 to 60% of Europe's entire population was wiped out in just a few years. Entire villages were abandoned overnight, economies collapsed, and doctors walked around in those creepy beaked masks stuffed with flowers, because the leading medical theory was that bad smells cause disease. That was peak medieval science, and it was the best humanity had. And now number 1, the absolute worst. The Toba supervolcano eruption, roughly 74,000 years ago. An event so catastrophic it nearly deleted humanity from existence before history even started. When Toba erupted, it launched over 670 cubic miles of ash into the sky, enough material to bury the entire United States. The eruption triggered a volcanic winter so extreme that sunlight was blocked for an estimated 6 to 10 years. Not 18 months, like 536 AID, years, plural, with a 6 in front of them. Global temperatures crashed by up to 27 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius, instantly, turning the planet into something closer to a frozen tomb. Plants withered. Animals starved by the millions. Ecosystems collapsed worldwide, all at once. Food supplies didn't shrink, they vanished. Rivers dried up. Forests turned into silent graveyards of dead trees. And here's the number that should genuinely terrify you. Researchers estimate the entire global human population dropped to fewer than 3,000 individuals. 3,000, smaller than most high schools. A genetic bottleneck so tight that basically every human alive today is descended from that tiny handful of survivors who somehow made it through years of darkness, freezing cold, and starvation, with no idea if the sun was ever coming back. No crops, no warning, no second chances, and yet a small group of stubborn, desperate humans held on. They didn't give up when everything else on the planet did. Okay, quick pause before we get to the part that should genuinely change how you see your own life. This channel exists to dig up the moments in human history your textbooks skipped or rushed through in one paragraph. The stuff that actually explains why you, and everyone you've ever met, is even here in the first place. If that's the kind of deep dive you're into, hit subscribe right now. It genuinely helps this channel keep making these. And drop a comment below. Which one of these do you think you would have survived? And which one would have gotten you in the first week? I read every comment, so don't hold back. Every single ranking on this list, the ice, the famine, the horse archers, the plague, the volcano that nearly ended us. None of those people knew they were living through the worst time in history. They just knew they were cold, or hungry, or scared, or sick, and they kept going anyway. Because what else was there to do? You are only here right now, watching this on a device that fits in your pocket, because somewhere down that long, brutal chain, somebody refused to give up at the exact moment giving up would have been easier. You didn't get lucky. You are the end result of thousands of years of people who simply did not die when biology and history said they should have. So the next time something minor ruins your day, traffic, a bad Wi-Fi connection, your coffee order being wrong, remember, your ancestors fought mammoths, plagues, ice ages, and a volcano that blacked out the sun for the better part of a decade, just so you could exist long enough to complain about it. That's the legacy you're carrying. Don't waste it. Thanks for watching Barely Evolved. Stay curious, and stay grateful you weren't born in any of these. We'll see you in the next one, before natural selection catches up with the rest of us.